Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Davis and I'm a collector and seller for trading cards. I mostly deal and collect with Pokemon and One Piece cards. Today we'll be going over my first ever self-submitted PSA submission. A few years ago, I actually used Graded Gem to do my submission, and the results or grades that I got were pretty bad. I didn't really know what I was doing. I got a bunch of 6s, 7s, and 8s and 9s, and pretty much no 10s. However, I took that as just a learning opportunity, watched a bunch of grading videos, and I think I got a lot better. Today I'll share with you all 86 cards, and I'll put a counter down below with how much they're worth. Alright, this is a ton of cards, so let's go through this really quick. Alright, the first graded card I got here is the Sanji, a PSA 10. And the next card is another Sanji, PSA 10. This is from the 25th anniversary binder collection. I actually ripped a bunch of those and submitted these, so you'll be seeing a lot of those. Next card here is the Tony Chopper, another PSA 10. And the next card, another Tony Chopper, PSA 10. Most of these cards are probably about $30 to $40 each. And the next card is a Jinbei, a PSA 10. And the next card, another Jinbei PSA 10. And a third Jinbei PSA 10. I submitted a bunch of cards from the binder and then also the 5th set. So here's a Monkey D. Luffy leader card from OP05, a PSA 10. I submitted 3 of these, so here's a second PSA 10 Luffy. And the last one is also another PSA 10. The cards that I looked at for OP05, the all art cards, they're actually pretty rough at the top. I think there was something in some of the batches where the cards had like extra rough cuts, so they had like very jagged edges. Alright, the next card is the OP05 All Art Monkey D. Luffy. So this is one of my favorite cards from the set because it's obviously it's not the manga, that's like $3,000, but I feel like this is a good alternative for, and that's more budget friendly to collectors. I submitted 5 of these and I got, I believe, I saw the grades and I got 5 10s on these. These go for around like $130 to $150. Yeah, I'll be keeping one of these for my personal collection and selling the rest. Alright, the next card is the Red Luffy. This is the first anniversary, also from OP05. For this card, there's actually no Oda signature. The Oda signature goes for about around $2,000, give or take. I won't be dabbling in those anytime soon. I submitted, I think, 5 or 6 of these. PSA 10s. Yeah, I bought about 10 of these, submitted 6 of them. The other 4 that I didn't submit just had really bad rough cuts on the edges where you can see the paper sticking out. Yeah, I think this card is great also for budget collectors because it's not a $2,000 card. Yeah, and here's another PSA 10. And I believe this is the 6th and last one of this card. Alright, 3 more stacks to go. Mostly all PSA 10s so far. Alright, this card here is the Luffy from the Championship Event Pack. This is, as you can see, there's a little stamp there for the Championship cards. People got this from the North American Championship. Yeah, I got 2 of these and I submitted both of them. Here's the first card, the PSA 10, and the second one, another PSA 10. These cards go for right now $300 to $350. I feel like there aren't that many graded. They had this card as a promo without the championship patch here or stamp, and those cards I think go for about like 70 or 80. So to me, I think this is a no-brainer to grade and to sell because people will want the championship stamp. All right, going back to the 25th anniversary collection binder. Here's a Nami, a PSA 10. I submitted, I think, 5 or 6 of these. Here's another Nami PSA 10. These go for around $60 or $70 each. Yeah, when I bought the collection binder, it was during the summertime where people were offloading them like pretty quickly. And so I bought about 40 of those and I've just slowly been selling them, and I ripped them open and graded a bunch of these cards. All right, this card here is a Monkey D. Luffy, a PSA 10. Here's another Luffy from the collection binder, another PSA 10. And this is, I believe, the third and last one that I submitted, all PSA 10s. I mean, I didn't get all PSA 10s from the binder. I only picked and chose the best of the best. All right, here's the next card. This is a Roanoa Zoro, also from the binder, a PSA 10. I think for these cards, they're great because they have like the manga-like background. However, they don't come with the manga pricing. So I think a lot of people will collect these and these will go up in value. I'm not going to be holding these for long term. I'm just grading and selling them pretty much immediately. Another PSA 10. Most of the Zoros that I got, the centering was slightly off where the bottom was much thicker, so I was only able to submit about 2 out of 8 of the Zoros, unfortunately. All right, next card up is the Usopp, another PSA 10. This is also from the 25th anniversary binder. And the thing about that binder is Bandai's, they're not going to be reprinting those. There's a lot of talk on Bandai reprinting the first sets. However, they're probably not going to be reprinting the collection binders. All right, here's Usopp, another PSA 10. All right, up next is Frankie, also from the 25th anniversary binder. I submitted 2 or 3 of these. Another PSA 10. And all right, up next is Nico Robin, PSA 10, also from the 25th binder. Submitted about 5 or 6 of these. All right, and the next one, another PSA 10. I don't think we've gotten any 9s yet. So yeah, whatever videos I watched and advice I got, I think really, really helped. All right, another Nico Robin PSA 10. And another 10. This is DJ Khaled, another one right here. All right, next card is the Brook, also from the binder, PSA 10. I had a few more of these to submit, but I didn't want to grade too many. I'll just submit them in my next batch. Second one, Brook, PSA 10, and the third PSA 10 Brook. And last one from this stack is a Sanji, PSA 10. Yeah, so my goal with these anniversary collection binders was to create sets and then sell them as one lot because people are looking for that binder. However, not many people are selling it as a lot. And there's so much saturation from people grading and then selling each card. So if you end up, like, nobody wants to buy an Usopp by itself, but a lot of people probably want the entire collection as a PSA 10. All right, I think I spoiled it. Sorry, this is my first ever submission. But the next card is a Bandai Card Fest Luffy. This is a PSA 10. So this was given out during the North American Championships, and a ton of people were selling this for between like $100 and $120. I think this card goes for about $200. They'll probably go up in price because I don't think too many people have been grading it, and there's been a lot of interest I saw on the groups I'm on to buy this card. All right, next card is, this is from Japan. This is a promo from the Shonen Jump. This is probably one of the coolest Luffy cards, and I think there's just a lot of volume on this card. These cards are about $50. All right, up next, another Shonen Jump Luffy, another PSA 10. All right, up next, this is I think the third and final Luffy that I submitted for the Shonen Jump. Yeah, I want to keep buying more of these because I think there's so much interest in this card, even though it was probably printed into oblivion with the Shonen Jump magazines. All right, up next is the Secret Rare Japanese from OP05. I think this card is like $40. Actually was able to buy quite a few of these during my trip to Japan for about $3 or $4. So that's a pretty good like 10x return after putting it into a slab. All right, about halfway through the third stack. Next card up, another PSA 10 Secret Rare Luffy from the Japanese set. And I forgot how many of these I submitted. I think 3 or 4. Here's another PSA 10 of the same card. Yeah, I think for these cards, like everybody is so into the Gear 5. And if you want to collect the all art this card and the manga, if you have the money, then it's a really good set to collect. All right, next card up. This card I didn't know existed until I was going around card shops. This is a part of a 7-Eleven promotion where you had to buy certain things at 7-Eleven and they gave you promotion cards. This is the first of 4. That's the Gear 5 Luffy. Next card is Luffy from the 7-Eleven campaign, a PSA 10. And there's another Luffy. There's 2 more cards in this set. I'm not sure where they are in the stack, but I'm planning on selling them also as a set because people are probably looking for that all in a set, and it's a PSA 10. All right, next card is the Law card as another PSA 10. I didn't see too many of these when I was in the card shops in Japan, so I just bought what I could. All right, next card is Kid, PSA 10. So yeah, now I have the full set here. The Gear 5 Luffy, the regular Luffy, Law, and the Kid. Yeah, I believe each one of these goes for about $40 to $50, so a set will be between $160 and $200. All right, working our way through the third pile. The next card is another Law. Yeah, these are about $40 to $50 each. Okay, next card this is from a promotion that was given away during One Piece Day in Japan. These cards were also likely printed into Oblivion. However, with the Gear 5 Luffy, I think a lot of people like these cards. These cards, I think, are between $50 and $60, something like that, at a PSA 10. All right, next card, another Bandai Card Fest Luffy, a PSA 10. Yeah, this card, like 200 or 250. Next card, oh no, this is our first PSA 9 of literally the entire stack, which is pretty insane. Raw, this card goes for probably about 100, 110, so hopefully I can sell this. I don't know, I feel like not a lot of people are collecting PSA 10s, or PSA 9, sorry. Yeah, we'll leave this here and create a PSA 9 stack. Hopefully that doesn't grow any further. Okay, so I think that's the end of the One Piece card submission. I mean, there could be more, but I'm pretty sure the rest are going to be Pokemon. All right, up next is a Japanese Pokemon card. This is the Detective Pikachu promo. This card came with the Detective Pikachu during release, and for some reason, we haven't had it released in the States. It'll probably come in some promotion pack. But yeah, I think this is one of the cooler Pikachu cards. He's riding on a Growlithe. Yeah, I got a PSA 10. I bought a handful of these in Japan, but unfortunately, after looking at them closer, they didn't have that good of centering. All right, next up card, another Japanese Pokemon card. All right, this is the ultra rare Charizard from the Ruler of the Black Flame, which is the Japanese equivalent for Obsidian Flame. So I went to Japan for my honeymoon back in the fall and bought a bunch of packs with my wife, and I pulled this one. Yeah, this card is probably about $90. Next card up, another Japanese Pokemon card. This is the special art rare. This is the main chase card for the Ruler of the Black Flame. So my wife actually pulled this, and she had no idea like how much it was, and she was pretty excited after I told her that it was like a $200 to $300 card at the time. Currently, this card goes for about like $250 to $280, something like that. So yeah, I'll be keeping these two for my personal collection. All right, last card in the third stack is another Japanese Pokemon card. This is the Tyranitar EX Super Rare, another PSA 10. This card also pulled, this will probably be going into my personal collection because I think I can only sell this for like 20 or 30 bucks, so not really worth it. Okay, the fourth and final stack of this submission, mostly Pokemon cards. First card up is a Radiant Steelix. So these cards, I think they'll do well in the long term. I mean, I only got these cards for like 20 cents and I could probably sell them for like 20 or $30 each. So yeah, very cool cards, the Radiant cards. Next card up is another PSA 10 Radiant Alakazam. Yeah, I bought that for like 25 cents. Probably goes for 20, 25, $30. Next card, the second PSA 9, another Radiant Alakazam. I'm not too sure why this one got a 9. I think the centering is pretty good. I mean, maybe after looking at like 70 cards, the grader got tired. So there's our second PSA 9. Next card up, the Radiant Jirachi. Oh no, another PSA 9. These cards probably I'll only be able to sell for like $15 or $20 just because they're a 9, but not too bad. Yeah, for these I bought like 15 of them and I only submitted one or two of these, and unfortunately I got a 9. Okay, next up, I think this whole stack is from this deck. So this is the old maid Babanuki deck. So when I went to Japan, I was able to buy a bunch of these boxes from the Pokemon centers. They were only like $2 or $3 each. So grading these, people really like the art. I think the art is great. So the first up from the old maid deck is a Psyduck PSA 10. Yeah, I didn't submit all of them because the centering on these were hit or miss. All right, next card up is another PSA 10 Psyduck from the old maid deck. Next card is a PSA 10 old maid Mew. Yeah, I made the mistake of selling the newer ones. What I should have did was grade the new deck. So like this one you can see is red. For the new deck it's blue, and there's the Scarlet and Violet starters in them, so I should have graded those. All right, next card up, another PSA 10 Mew. All right, let's burn through this. Oh, next card is a Charmander PSA 9. So there's the starters, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, so I wanted to grade all of those, but the centering for them wasn't that great. All right, up next, another PSA 9. Oh, we should be adding these to the other pile. Next card is a Eevee from the old maid deck at a PSA 10. Submitted 2 of those, I believe. Next card up is a Bulbasaur PSA 9. Yeah, the centering from right to left is heavier on the right, but you know, I just wanted to submit it because they're the starters. I'll likely sell those as a set. Next card up, a PSA 9 Raichu from the old maid deck. Yeah, the art on these is just so interesting because you don't really see this art style on the normal Pokemon trading cards. Next card up, this is a Gengar PSA 10. So there's only one of these in the old maid deck, and so it's nice to get these. It's nice to get this one as a PSA 10 because, you know, there's literally only one per deck versus the other cards. There's 2 of each. Next card up, another PSA 10 Eevee from the old maid deck. All right, just a few more left for my graded card return. Next card is a PSA 10 Squirtle. Yeah, so you can see the centering is much more even, but I mean, if you look at the Charmander, I mean, they're pretty close. Just, you know, it just depends on what grader you get on a given day. It could be a 9, it could be a 10. You could resubmit it, but honestly, for these cards, it's not worth it because they're only like $20 or $30 or $40 depending on the card. All right, up next is a PSA 10 Pikachu from the old maid deck. Yeah, I think no-brainer to grade Pikachus and starters because there's just so much demand for them. That's the first one that I submitted. Oops, wrong pile. All right, just 3 more. All right, next card, another PSA 10 Pikachu. Last 2, and these are probably the most underwhelming cards. This is just the spare cards from the deck. PSA 10. Surprisingly, I don't think a lot of people graded these, so they're going for like $40 or $50 for some reason. All right, last card up for the 86 card submission is another spare card. So out of 86 cards, I only got 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought it was 6. Maybe I misplaced one and didn't set it aside, but you know, 82 or 81 cards out of 86 card submission, getting all 10s is amazing to me, because my first submission I got so many 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s. And, you know, I'm hoping to rebuild the momentum and, you know, have this inventory. I think the overall value for all these cards should be more than $4,000. It costs about $1,000 to do this submission, and you know, I think it was well worth it. This is a good skill to learn, to find cards, you know, look at their demand, grade them, and sell them. I didn't go too heavy into the cards. I just bought, you know, 2 or 3 of each. Some of them that I felt a little bit more confident in, like this one, you know, that's only $20 and the potential value is like up to 60, or the 25th anniversary collection. Like I only graded 2 or 3 just to kind of get a feel for it. I'm pretty sure all these will sell out. I think for these old maid cards, they're definitely less liquid, but I'm pretty sure they'll all sell through. And then for these, the newer cards, the OP05, like the demand for the game is so high. All right, thanks for watching. I'll make another video on my next PSA submission. Yeah, thanks for joining.